before talking about death, I'll repeat something which we took on the first day. Today is the third day, I think. Right? And that is working in time and working in eternity. The Vaishnavas have a saying, that what you do, you take ras from that. You take enjoyment from that. If you are able to take enjoyment, ras, then it goes to something called the essence. It becomes a part of our essence. When we die, the essence does not die. The essence is planetary. Our body is made of the earth. The essence has a longer life than the body. So what can we do every day for our essence? Supposing I have a habit of keeping my room very untidy. And when I was young, maybe my mother told me that you keep your room tidy. As I grow up and get married, my wife is always scolding me, you keep your room tidy. Right? But old habits die hard, and we have this habit of putting our things all over the place and making a mess of everything. And one day, say turning 60 or 55 or something, most of us over here, right? It comes to me that, do I want to take this habit with me? Do I want to carry this habit with me? Now, how do I change it? Right? If my wife tells me to clean up my room and I clean it, then I'm working in time. I'm not working in eternity. Anything done out of reward or punishment is always in time. Anything done out of ras, because I can't find the exact English word. The English word we have to use is enjoyment. But the Vaishnavas say that God is made of ras. Right? When we look at the statue of what you call Krishna Bhagavan, it talks of different ras. Right? So, can I do it in a different way? So the idea is that I have to arrange my things and keep them tidy and enjoy it at the same time. And if I can make an enjoyment out of it, if I can extract makhan out of it, become makhan chor, right? If I can extract that ras out of it, then I'm not working in time, I'm working in eternity. Then a new pattern is created, a new sanskar is created. That sanskar does not die with the death of the body. That sanskar I carry across. So, most of us are maybe above 50, I suppose. You may feel that death is 20, 30 years away and it's a very long time, but right. There's this beautiful story of Ouspensky has written a book called The Strange Life of Ivan Oskin. And Ivan Oskin was dying. And when he was dying, an angel came to him and said, Ivan, would you like to live your life again? So Ivan says, yes. Why would you like to live your life again? So he says, I want to live my life again so that I don't commit the same mistakes I did. The angel said, okay, given to you. So Ivan again, he goes back into his mother's womb and is born again. And he lives his life again, and again he's on his deathbed, and the angel comes. Ivan, did you change anything? No, I repeated the same mistakes. Nothing changed. So, we have to understand at a certain point in our life that whatever we do in time, my wife is in time, my family is in time, my children, my friends are in time. They have nothing to do with my eternity. Understanding is a great thing. If after 10 years I'm going to leave my daughter, I have to leave her. Why don't I understand it now? That does not, I don't compromise on the love, but I dissolve the attachment. So, whatever things we have to leave, can we have an inner understanding? We are going to leave this in any case. We are going to leave the bank balance in any case. We are going to leave the beautiful home in any case. And the friendship of the wife and the husband, 40 years, 50 years, whatever. But it's going to get over in any case. Don't compromise on the love. Let the love increase. But through understanding, the sword of understanding, cut the roots of attachment. Use the sword of understanding to cut the roots. Because rather than let it, if something goes away with pain, why not we cut it off now? And this is the meaning of sannyas. Sannyas does not mean to wear orange clothes and go to an ashram. It's a mess, all the ashrams in India. People are more attached in the ashram than they are in the world. It's so sickening when you go to these Indian ashrams today. There's this beautiful story of King Janak. King Janak was called Videhi. He had a palace, he was not attached to the palace. He had a beautiful wife, he was not attached to the wife. He had a beautiful daughter whom he married to the Lord Ram, he was not attached to the daughter. And he had two gurus, Ashtavakra and Yagnavalkya. And it is said that one great sadhu came to his ashram one day. And they both went for a bath in the river early in the morning. And they're having a bath, and suddenly Janak sees that his palace has caught fire. And he's laughing, he's telling the sadhu, look, my palace has caught fire. But the sadhu is already running. Arey, my langot is lying in the palace. Let me save it. So, wearing of orange clothes does not guarantee sannyas, but you can live in your normal life. You can love your husband without being attached to your husband. You can love your wife without being attached to her. And the quality of that love, free of attachment, free of possessiveness, free of arrogance, free of aggressiveness, it brings great joy in life. This is a relationship worth living. So, what can we do for our eternity? Can we every day take out half an hour? Everything I do for my family, I do my duty, I do to earn money, but I always do it for reward or punishment. Can I do something just out of the joy of doing it? And that habit which I create out of the joy of doing it, that transcends time. I'm now working in eternity. And I try to make this a kind of thing because I live alone. I don't live with my wife and children. They live. Now my wife is going to come to live with me because my daughter has passed out. I don't know what's going to happen, right? So, but I try to enjoy everything. If I'm cooking my breakfast, I try to enjoy it. If I'm making my tea, I try to enjoy it. Just trying to do something for our eternity. Because we are going to talk about death today. Everything we do in time. Right? Now, death is an energy. There are different kinds of energy in our life, energies in our life. When we think, we are using the energy of thought, the energy which goes into thought. When we feel, there is an energy which goes into feeling. The energy of feeling works at double the speed of the energy of thought. The energy of thought is very slow. Even though there is a prominent book, Business at the Speed of Thought, but thought is an idiot. So there's the energy of thought, there's the energy of feeling, emotional energy, thinking energy. There's the energy of sensitivity, samvedanani shakti. You're listening to me, something is falling on your ears, the energy of sensitivity. The sounds which I'm creating, they are broken down into electromagnetic impulses. Those electromagnetic impulses are flowing through the channels of your ears. They are going to a place inside which yoga calls the chitta. The chitta is reconstructing everything using memory, with the aid of memory. And you understand what the speaker is saying. The energy of sensitivity. Feeling and sensitivity, they work at the same speed. The energy of movement. Slow. It works at the speed of thought. But when we join a karate class or something, then the karate master teaches us to transform the energy of movement from the speed of the energy of movement, the same moving energy, to transform it to the speed of instinctive energy, sensitive energy. That before the thought comes, the action happens. Can you see? That is why martial arts, in some forms of spirituality, they are forms of what you call going towards God or something, right? Then comes the energy of sex. Every moment we are attracted or repulsed to something. I say something you like, you are attracted. Actually, you like it because you've already been attracted. You dislike it because you've already been repulsed. This is the fastest energy we experience in our life. Every moment, attraction and repulsion in the emotions like and dislike. This is a very dynamic energy. It has the power to take something which is in an unseen dimension, give it 2 sets of DNA, give it a mother and father, and bring it into a seen dimension. What we call the birth of a child. The energy of sex. And then comes the energy of death, which is double the speed of sex. And that is why if there is so much joy in sex, there is so much more joy in death. Because it is the fastest energy we will ever experience. And in normal man, he is able to experience that energy only once in his life. And he does not even, the epitome of his life, the most dynamic energy he is going to experience in his life, he never prepares for it. He never prepares for it. Can we prepare for that moment of death? Of course, the yogi, the one who enters into yoga, he experiences that energy many, many times before he dies. He learns how to die before death can come. So today we are going to talk a little bit about death. We did take this talk last year, but somehow we have, there's been a, what you call, desire that we repeat it this year. Right? What happens at the moment of death? I'm not talking about accidental deaths because these things are compressed, but how can we understand the moment of death? What is happening in the moment of death? Does death come instantaneously, or does it give some kind of, what you call, indications before it comes? Can we understand those indications? Can we make use of them to prepare for that moment? Just as a lady or a girl going into delivery, she's going to deliver her child, and she goes to the doctor, and the doctor says that he checks her and he sees the pain, and he says that there is pain coming, but the next pain is coming, it's a little far off. There's a long time between for the delivery, the child to be born. I will go and see other patients and come after some time. There's still time. So she gets these contractions, what they call the labor contractions, and slowly as the point of delivery comes, the moment of delivery comes, the space between two sets of contractions starts decreasing, and then the moment of delivery comes. Similarly, death gives us certain indications. So many things are happening in the moment of death. Man's life, what we call the soul, it rides on the prana of the sun and enters man. This whole blueprint of man is brought together by the magnetism of the planets. And then it is filled in with the cement and concrete of the earth, and a human body is born. So something is going to break down this human body. This human body is steeped in the pattern of the 5 elements. And the 5 elements are going to take their pattern back. 5 તત્વ પોતાનો સંસ્કાર પાછો ખેંચી લેવાના છે. So as the moment of death comes, certain symptoms related to the 5 elements will start happening to us automatically. We may start perspiring for no reason. We may feel cold and perspire at the same time, what doctors call as hypothermia. Suddenly, our eyes may become blank. We cannot see anything. And again, in the next moment, we start seeing everything. Suddenly, we feel that the support from our feet has been taken away. And again, we feel there is support. We know now the symptoms have started coming. And these symptoms will come. So, if we are supposing we are ill. Now, one of the misconceptions I want to if somebody wants to write the story of our life in one line, what would they write? If they wanted to write the story of our life in one line, what did we do? What did we do? Tell me. I'll say he ran behind pleasure and he ran away from pain. What is the story of our life? Our whole life, we ran behind pleasure and we ran away from pain. Now, pain or suffering is of two kinds: involuntary and voluntary. And then of course comes conscious suffering, which is something totally different. What is conscious suffering? What is conscious suffering? You know, I started taking children's camps around 1995, and I still continue taking children's camps. And many of the children have grown up, they got married, they had children. And we used to talk to the children, what is conscious suffering? What is conscious suffering? The suffering of, why am I still suffering? The suffering of, why am I still suffering? I remember this one girl, she was from a child in my camp, she got married, and when she got married, the mother-in-law said, no following all this is all nonsense, you cannot do all this. And the husband was very against it, and she would on the sly just phone me. I just remember one sentence of yours, why am I still suffering? Right? And now she's about 40 years old, 20 years since marriage, 20 years. And you won't believe it, but for the last 2-3 years, her husband has also been coming to my camps. Right? And I told her that now people around you have changed because of you, not by any outer effort, just because of your state of being they have changed. So now you become a real teacher. You are now ready to teach others. Right? So, conscious suffering. Why am I still suffering? 99% of our suffering is imaginary. 99% of our suffering is imaginary. Now, we don't have to look for suffering in life. But as long as suffering is involuntary in life, death will be involuntary. And if we want to work with death, we have to move from involuntary suffering to voluntary suffering. Somebody insults me, I start suffering. Can I change the suffering from involuntary to voluntary? Somebody has not come on time. Can I change the suffering from involuntary to voluntary? My friend till yesterday, today, he's saying all things against me. Can I change the suffering from involuntary to voluntary? This is greater than any puja we can do. This transformation. It transforms our being. We become a different person. Because now there is nothing in life which can make us suffer. We are ready to suffer. And people have this, they come to me and they say, but is it possible that death comes without pain? How is it possible? Maybe one in a few. How is it possible? Why are you frightened of pain? Why are you running away from pain? You'll carry the same pattern across, that keep on running away from pain. So what if death brings pain? Physical pain. It has to come in some way, no? So why can't we be ready for that? That whatever pain comes, I will rise above it. I will accept it. I will make it voluntary. So if we can do that, then there's a big transformation in our lives. Pain which is there now will become, from involuntary it will become voluntary. And then there is no complaining about anything in our life. There is no blaming about anything in our life. Then no one else is at fault. If I suffer, it is my fault. Right? If we can understand so much, we can enter into death. So death has its symptoms, and those symptoms come in waves. They come together and they go. They come together and they go. And a point comes when the gap between two sets of symptoms closes in. We now know that the moment of death is nearby. Now these symptoms are created by the 5 elements. The first element is the earth element. I can't go into all the symptoms. So supposing I'm sleeping on a bed and the earth element is taking its sanskar, its pattern away, because it has loaned me that pattern for all my life and now it wants to take it away. I have lived that pattern throughout my life. I will feel that all support is going away. I will feel that all support is going away. I may feel I'm on the bed, but somebody has taken the bed away. And this is momentary. Again it will come back, because I said it will come and go in waves. The second is the water element, Jal Tattva, Apas Tattva. Right? And once the water element goes, I'll start feeling thirsty. I'll start feeling as if my body is going dry. I'll start feeling that I'm on fire. Right? I'll say, somebody give me a little drink of water. Right? Then the fire element will go and I'll start feeling cold. The fire element is responsible mainly for our vision. So there may be sudden blankness of vision, and again the vision comes back. I know now the symptoms are coming, right? And I may not be able to see for a momentary point in time. And then the Akash Tattva, the ether element, the sensitivity which I'm feeling on my skin, the touch, suddenly I'll feel it's gone away. So these will go and they will come. Now, at the same time that this world is leaving us, that world is trying to reach us. And nature balances everything. And she will arrange it in such a way that something from that world will try to reach us. Maybe a sweet smell or a sweet tune. And that will take away our fear a little. It will sort of balance these symptoms. I remember one of my gurus was Swami Ramdulare Bapu. And I spent 7 years with him. And one full moon night, we went to a place near Bhavnagar called Gopnath. And there are steps going down from the cliff into the sea. And he said, I did sadhana here in this place for 1 year. He's telling me. So he said, I want to show you that place. So we went. And there was a huge cave on the sea. And he took me deep into the cave. And he said, you sit here. He said, listen to the sound of the sea coming in through the cave. Listen to the sound of the sea coming in through the cave. You're sitting in that total emptiness, total wilderness, all alone, no one over there. And the feeling of fear, just the sound which is coming, the feeling of fear goes away completely. He said, if you sit in meditation here for a week, you will gain that which outside you will not get in years, he's telling me. He said, I spent a year in this cave, he's telling me. Unfortunately, in the earthquake of 1995, that cave was totally destroyed. So, something from that, sometimes when we get up in the morning from a dream, we remember a tune which is not a normal tune. Something from there has come to meet us. Right? So something from that side will also try to meet us, and these symptoms will come in waves and they will go. How will we know that the moment of death has come? How will we know? Now, supposing I meet her today and then I see her again after, say, 10 years, and I look at her and I say, I know her, but I can't get her name. I can't get her name, and I'm trying, I'm groping inside for her name. This is a beautiful feeling. Most of us throw away this feeling. We don't use this feeling, right? But it is a feeling worth holding on to and trying to hold that feeling and remain in that feeling. Now, the final thing which we will forget at the moment of death is our own name. Our own name. So when we are looking inside, what is my name? And I've forgotten who I am, because the name has to be left here. You can't take it with you, right? So I can't remember who I am. Now you know that the moment has come. Simultaneously, at the same time, there will be a kind of inner pulling. And that pulling you will feel as if your backbone is a kind of bow, and somebody is pulling an arrow, and all your energy is getting concentrated at the bottom of the backbone. This is the moment. It is like somebody has pulled the arrow, and the soul is the arrow. Somebody has pulled the string, and the soul goes out. The soul goes out. Now, what goes out, I'll just draw on the board later. This moment is very, very important, the moment of death. And if anyone else is dying, try to see if you can keep that person awake so that he can experience the moment right till the end. But if nature forces him to sleep, then don't force him to stay awake. Right? Now, don't distract that person in any way. Right? Try to whisper in his ear that you enjoy the sensations, feel the sensations, and always remember the guide is next to you. We have to only ask for his help. Right? So if we ask for the Guru's help, we don't have to have a Guru as a person. Please understand this. You don't have to have a Guru as a person. The Guru is always there. So the minute you ask for help, something is there and it will guide you on your way. So you whisper in that person's ear that please remember to ask for help. The third thing is he is going to go on a certain journey. So something is going to be released at a certain speed. And as he goes on the journey, the speed is going to slow down. The speed is going to slow down. And there is no petrol pump on the way. Right? So don't do anything to reduce the speed. Or if you say, oh, I don't want you to go, and you're crying and his attachment is over here, then you are reducing the speed of the arrow. Reducing the speed of the arrow. Right? So we must remember this, that at the moment of death there will be a deep pulling inside, and that pulling, why it happens, I'll just draw on the board, and the arrow goes out. And the arrow is composed of two things, and we'll just have a look at it. Don't ask me how I got all this, because I practiced with a guru for years and years. So it is not something which I've taken from any book or anything. I think we took this the other day. If it is not clear, I'll explain the concepts. Is it clear to anyone, or should I explain the concept again?
Some people are new.
Okay. Soul in Gujarati is called Jeev. Jeev. Spirit is called as Atma. Spirit is the sun. Spirit is the sun. We are going to go into the Gayatri Mantra. So we'll say the sun. The one sun we see outside, but one sun is within us. Right? Spirit is the sun. Soul is the ray of the sun. Soul is the ray of the sun. There is life on the earth because of the sun or the rays of the sun. Rays of the sun. That is why we call the rays of the sun as Jeev. We call the sun as Atma. But we say life is because of Jeev. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Now, this sun, it sends out a ray. Why does it send out a ray? Why does it send? Because, let me go into the deeper aspects of Indian philosophy. Are you all ready for all this?
Yes.
Then I'll speak. I usually don't speak about all this. If you're ready for it, I'll just... Now, everything that has been born out of India is not the right word. Bharat is the right word. India is a word used by the British, right? So people who used to live on the Indus Valley, on the Indus River, right? But what has come out of our country, Bharat, is based on two postulates, two, what you call pillars, two pillars. All the religions, all the darshans, all the philosophies, what have come out of Bharat are based on two postulates. I'll take that first. One, there is something which never changes. And there is something which is always changing. Whatever religions have come out of the country called Bharat, right? These are the two basic postulates, that there is something which never changes, can never change, and there is something which is changing all the time, right? This, what is changing all the time, is called sansar, jagat. Jagat means to change all the time, right? And this which is never changing at all is called as Paramatma. Paramatma. In Tantra, this is called as Shiva, this is called as Shakti. In Sankhya, this is called as Purush, this is called as Prakriti. Because in the Gita, Krishna has used Sankhya terminology, Purush and Prakriti. Yoga has used the Sankhya terminology, Purush. Right? So, these are the two postulates. How do we experience this? How do we experience? I'm going sidetracking now. I don't know if I'm going to finish today. But I'm sidetracking now. But we want to experience this in our life. Right? How do we experience this in our life? How do we experience this in our life? And we must. Because everything has started from these two postulates. Everything that happened in the country which we call India, all the religions, whatever. The religions came later. First was the Shak Darshan, the Vedas, the Upanishads. This is the basis of everything. Something never changes, something always changes. How do we experience this in our life? How do we experience this?
By living at the fullest.
No, how will we? If we live the fullest, will we experience this? We won't experience this. How will we do it? I talked about it. So, yeah.
If the body keeps on changing, but the inside conscious.
That's right. Okay. So, what she is saying, now we said the spirit is the sun and it sends out its ray. What is that ray in our life? What is that ray in our life? How do we experience that ray of the inner sun in our life? What do we call it?
Conscious.
Attention. Attention. Pran follows attention, and attention follows pran. Can my eyes see without attention? Right? Can my skin feel without attention? What is attention? What is attention? Is attention of the mind or is it beyond the mind? Where does attention come from? A dead body has no attention. It has eyes, but it cannot see because attention does not go out of the eyes. You're reading a book. You've read the whole page, but you don't remember a single thing. You have not paid attention. You have not paid attention. What is attention? What is attention?
Full mindness.
Mind can concentrate attention or disperse it. But where does attention come from? Is attention the desire, the Ichha Shakti of the Atma to experience life?
Conscious.
Is it the Ichha Shakti of the Atma to experience
Yes.
life? The Atma wants to see, it sends attention out of the eyes, that ray, it is Jeev. That is why Gujarati is easy. Taro Jeev kya chote vache. Right? But in English it becomes difficult. We have to use the word attention. And attention does not give the same connotation as Jeev. Right? Taro Jeev kya che? Where is your attention? Where is your attention? Right? So, that ray of the sun which comes out to experience life is attention. Now, I don't want to make things complicated, but I have to add something over here. Forget about it as soon as I say it. Right? So the astronaut goes into space, he has to wear a space suit. He has to wear a space suit. Similarly, this soul comes out of spirit. He is not allowed to come out without wearing a space suit. But it is not a physical suit. It is a little, what do you call, subtle suit. Let us go into it a little. Supposing architect wants to make a house, right? He has built the house in his mind. He has built the house in his mind, right? But to build the house externally may take 1 or 2 years, right? In his mind, the house is formed through something called magnetism. It brings all those thoughts together. Magnetism comes from the planets. Magnetism comes from the planets. It holds everything together. In the Gita, Krishna calls it as Sangat. Right? So it holds everything together. So man is 3 things. Life from the sun, magnetism from the planets, material from the earth. Material from the earth. The architect has the plan ready in his mind. It is the magnetic form. But what is it lacking? Material from the earth. Cement and concrete. Can you get what I'm trying to say? Once the cement and concrete, then it will take an external form which the senses can see. But before the senses could see the form was already in his mind. Can you understand? And that form in his mind, it did not have the materiality of the earth. That is why it could not be seen with the senses, but it was still there in his mind as a magnetic entity. Am I now clear? Right? The Atma is formless. Sorry. Is formless. You cannot draw any form there. You cannot draw any line there. You cannot give it any limitation, etc., etc. They say in the Shastra. But the minute the ray comes out, it wears a space suit of magnetism of the planets. It wears a space suit of that we call as astral body. Astral body. It is clothed in the planets. It is clothed in the planets. What is the difference between Atma and Jeev? Jeev is the ray of the sun of the Atma, clothed in, surrounded by astral body. Huh? Can you get what I'm trying to say? So it has to wear this set of clothes. But this set of clothes has a form, it does not have materiality. It does not have cement and concrete. To get cement and concrete, that form now looks for a mother and father from whom it takes DNA on a loan and becomes a physical form, physical materiality. Now you're understanding what I'm saying. So the soul has a form, but that form has no materiality. To get materiality, it has to go to look for a mother and father. A thodu clear thyu Atma ne Jeev. Jeev etle Atma plus. Right. Now why is it given a clothing of the planets? એને ગ્રહોનો કપડા કેમ પહેરાવવામાં આવે છે? How to explain all this? Why is it given a clothing of the planets?
So when we die, it's through the...
No, every moment in life. Why is it given a clothing of planets? Why did it send out the ray in the first place? What was the desire to, it wanted to experience life. It wanted to experience. Now where do all the experiences of life lie?
Sanskar.
No, where do they lie? Where do they come from? Magnetism. Supposing you're happy, that happiness has no materiality, but still it has a form. That form of happiness is different from the form of sadness. It is different from the form of suffering. The form of cunningness is different from the form of happiness. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? All these are forms without materiality. They don't have a physical body, but they are still magnetic forms, like the software in our computers. Now you're getting what I'm trying to say.
Then the subtle body?
That is the subtle body. Happiness is the subtle body. But where does it come from? What is it made of? Like the software in the computer is made of 0, 1. It is made of 0, 1. What is that inner happiness made of? Where does the material come to build that happiness?
So, if a soul soul ray getting the magnetic forms and getting the astral body, then original soul don't have these magnetic forms?
No, the Atma does not have.
Atma does not have.
Changeless.
Yeah. So Atma does not have all these magnetic forms.
It sends out, now it gets magnetic form. What is the difference between soul and spirit? The soul is the light of the spirit plus magnetic form. That magnetic form comes from the planets. Why? Why? When I am happy, what material is that happiness made of? Is it made of the happiness of the material of Jupiter?
No.
Guru.
No good.
Can you understand what I'm trying to say? When I'm, very intelligently studying, is that what you call that desire to study made of the material of Mercury, Buddha? You understand what I'm trying to say? Supposing I'm very cunning, is it the negative part of Mercury? If I'm in a state of deep patience, Dheeraj, is it the magnetic form of Saturn? તમે સમજો છો હું શું કહેવા માંગુ છું? Astral body એટલે શું હું તમને સમજાવવા માંગુ છું. I'm trying to make you understand what is the meaning of the astral body. That ray came out of the sun to experience life. It is given an astral magnetism. All the experiences lie in the planets, graha. When I am happy, it is Jupiter and combinations. It is not pure of one form. When I am angry, it is Mars. Can you see? But my anger is a very, what do you call, passive anger. I'll put one drop in your tea every day, you'll die after 1 year. Right? Huh? So then that is not a Martian anger, that is a Saturnine anger.
You're talking about astrology when the birth of...
No, I'm not talking about it. Please keep astrology on the side. I'm just talking of the science of the soul. What is the soul made up of? Why is it given an astral body? Because all the experiences, I drink this, my thirst is quenched. But that feeling of thirst is quenched is a magnetic form which has come from Jupiter. I don't know if I'm coming across in this. Huh? Can you get what I'm trying to say? Every experiences in life comes from the planets. And that is why the original Atma wanted to experience life. It sent out its ray. The ray was given a magnetic form. And it is out of this magnetic form that sanskar is built. Right?
સંસ્કાર આત્મામાંથી આવે.
Magnetic form. Magnetic form. I'll go into it at a later time. સમજાય છે? So if the ray wants to go back to the sun, it has to be free of the magnetic form. But that magnetic form, I keep on gathering material of Mars because I keep on getting angry. So instead of becoming free of the material of Mars, it becomes more trapped in the material of Mars.
So where does your previous sanskar get attached to that ray? From your previous life sanskar, in
So-
that ray, where does it get wrapped around at one point?
The pattern changes.
But you're coming with a sanskar from previous life.
Right? So the pattern changes.
So the Atma, the rays, the sun is clean, nothing attached to it.
When the ray, if we suppose, because in our logical mind we have to suppose some point in the beginning. There is no point in the beginning. Right? But we have to suppose because this is the way our logical and digital mind is made. Right? But supposing we suppose at some point it may have come out with just astral material, but immediately it starts making sanskar out of that astral material. I get angry onto you today. Have I increased the negative quality of Mars in me or not?
Yes.
Is that ray now more trapped in the quality of the material of Mars or not? Now, unless that ray gets free, I get angry, but I look at the anger. And I'm free of the anger. Then have I freed that ray from one, what do you call, sanskar of anger? Can you understand what I'm trying to say?
In this world, human mind has made quite a good magnetic thing to create all these messages? Is the Atman making more and more powerful magnet? Can we get better messages from the planets? Is it that thing is coming? Are we coming to that conclusion?
No, what I'm saying just now is only all experiences are made of which material? Material of the planets. Don't let this roam away, just be with me. Because if you bring all that in, we'll never end and we'll go somewhere else.
Maybe no question right now.
Yes.
Let him finish this.
Please finish it.
So, if I understand right, as far as I know, there are 9 planets.
Right.
And so, all the experiences are from the properties of these 9 planets.
Yes, actually in ancient astrology there were 32 planets,
Okay,
33 vertebrae,
okay,
right? And the sun every morning when we wake up, it enters through one vertebra.
okay.
And it gives us on that day the quality of that vertebra. But for normal 99% we will only take 9 planets.
Okay.
We will take 9 planets, right? But there is not just 9 planets, right? When they saw Buddha was born, then the astrologers saw his Patri. They said all 32 gunas are in this Patri.
I see.
Can you get what I'm trying to say? So the quality of the astral form is of this quality. He has already done so much journey. Can you understand now what I'm trying to say? You follow?
Yes.
And that was the only purpose of our astrology. Not tomorrow if I'm going to get a good wife or not. Right?
And that's why I always tell anybody that I'm angry with, that I always feel that I'm from Mars. That I'm having that kind of...
But you can also be free of Mars.
It could be. It could be.
You can also be free of Mars. Right?
Exactly.
Can we ask questions at the end?
I don't know. Okay. So I just wanted to tell you this, that what is soul and what is spirit.
So no question.
Question was,
You can ask
why
questions
we have
later.
this astral body?
Yeah, no
What was
problem.
your question be?
Because I had taken this 2 days ago and half the people were not here. Right? Okay. So we say at the moment of death there is a pulling. Right? And that pulling there is an arrow, and on that arrow what is going out? The spirit plus soul. And the soul is the light of the spirit plus astral body. Now is it clear what I'm trying to say? Now, at the moment of death, speeds are the fastest. Speeds are the fastest. When I fire a gun, when the bullet reaches the target, the speed is the slowest. But when the bullet leaves the gun, it is fastest. It is fastest. You know, in cricket, the controversies. You heard of the controversies in cricket, no? Right. So they say that this person has the fastest ball. This bowler has the fastest ball. But now some of the old bowlers are saying that now you're recording the speed from the stump where he bowls. But in the old days you used to record the speed from the stump at the wicket keeper's end. Say 15-20 years ago you used to record from the... and so it's not right. You cannot say that this bowler has the best speed, because in those days some bowlers may have had a even faster speed. Anyway, so at the at the moment of death, because the arrow is leaving the bow, the speed is the fastest. What does that mean in relationship of Swaha, electronic, Bhuva, molecular, Bhu, cellular. Right? What does it mean in relationship of this? You know, in the Quran there's a story. that Mohammed, he's sitting on a table and he hits a jar or glass of water and the water falls to the ground. Right? So the glass is going to break. The glass is going to break. His eyes are closed and he goes somewhere. He sees some things in some place or something and he comes back and he opens his eyes and the glass has not yet reached the ground. The glass has not yet reached the ground. Now this glass fell down in which time? Cellular time. Right? Muhammad must have gone in, when he went, he must have become a baby, become a grown man, had children, lived everything and come back and the glass has not yet fallen to the ground. It must have been in electronic time or molecular time. You understand what I'm trying to say? Right? Supposing you're doing a mala or Gayatri. Right? And you have a timer. And you're feeling a little sleepy. It happens. Right? Feeling a little sleepy. It happens. Right? And you have a timer. And the timer is going minute by minute. And like this you go. Like this. Right? And in that like this, you meet a beautiful girl. You get married. You have children. They get married. They have grandchildren, you have grandchildren, you play with your grandchildren, and suddenly you come back and you say, not even 1 minute has passed. Which time did you go to? Which time did you go to? Right? So time is cellular, time is molecular, time is electronic. Time is electronic, and all are interrelated. All are interrelated. Death happens in which time? Electronic time. Electronic time. Okay, let's take it another way. Time is cellular. I take a morsel of food, it takes 24 hours to digest. Cellular. Don't count time by hours and minutes. That is man-made time. That is not real time. It is not real time. Man has made this time, hours and minutes and seconds and all, so that everything goes. You come on time for your work or whatever. Right? It is not real time. Real time is something totally different. Totally different. Can you see? So there is cellular time. I take a bite of food, right? And it takes 24 hours to digest. So I'll say 24 hours. But my breathing is not cellular, it is molecular. My breathing is molecular. And supposing I want to teach you how to breathe in 5 seconds, but supposing just now we are taking 3 seconds for one breath, then 24 hours equals to 3 seconds. 24 hours equals to 3 seconds. I look at you and I recognize you. Science says that takes 1/16th of a second. In ancient Shastra, this was called as nimish, the blink of an eyelid. I see you, I register you in that. I do that in which time? Electronic time. So in cellular time, 24 hours equals to how much of molecular time? 3 seconds. And 3 seconds of molecular time equals to how much of electronic time? It's not actually, it's even less than 1/16, but we'll take science just now. We'll take, because Shastra said it is not 1/16, it is 1/120th of a second, 120 of a second. But we won't go into that, we will just take science just now. It takes me 1/16th of a second to recognize you, right? So we live in 3 different times. Have you ever thought about this? Have you ever thought about this? That we are living in 3 different times, not the hours and seconds and minutes. That has nothing to do with this. It is just the way of understanding this. Okay. Can you get what I'm trying to say? Right? Now at the moment of death, the time is the speed is the fastest. So which time are we in? So the minute you die, you are in which lok? Swahalok. Swahalok. Right? Which lok you die? Is Swahalok. And this will last for only 45 minutes to 1 hour. Now before that, what is the bow and arrow? The arrow we have taken, what is the bow? The backbone is made up of 3 subtle parts. In the old days, we used to have a cable TV. I don't know if you remember. A cable TV. So the cable which used to come to our home would have an outer covering. In that there would be an outer part. Then there would be an inner part, and then there would be a small thin part in the middle. Right? Not the vertebra. This outer part inside this is called as the Vajranadi, the thin outer covering. It is called as the Vajranadi. The thick inside part, here, this thick part, right, of the cable is called as Sushumna. And within that there is a very thin silvery thread, it is called as Chitrini. This Chitrini rises up to this area and it divides into 2, and it tries to enter the central brain cavity from here and from here. It is, these 2 parts are called the Brahmanadi. Right? These 2 parts are called the Brahmanadi. It tries to enter the Brahmarandra or the central brain cavity. Now, our whole life is controlled by which nadi? The Vajra nadi. Very rarely does somebody experience Sushumna, and very, very rarely does somebody experience Chitrini. Death can be either through the Vajra nadi. If a person has done some practices with death in life, he can die in Sushumna. And very rare do we have some example of somebody who has died in Chitrini. Right? We just go into it. Now the quality of Vajranadi is, it is cyclical, periodical. Everything in our life follows the law of the pendulum. Now that is a different law. I have to take another lecture for that. Right? Okay. But we experience that law every moment. Supposing I'm driving my scooter in the beautiful fields, I'm so relaxed. My pendulum is in relaxation. But suddenly a truck comes, from relaxation it goes to, of course we don't observe it, so we don't know. Right? But if we could observe the law of the pendulum, then we will realize that the very thing we love, we also hate. Because the pendulum just has to go to the opposite direction. When 2 people fall in love, do 2 people fall in love or 2 dreams fall in love? Tell me. 2 dreams fall in love. Huh? Right? And then of course all dreams die. Right? What has happened? That was not the person I got married to. The pendulum has swung to the opposite direction. Right? Now, when I meet a girl and I fall in love with her, if I say this is one side of the pendulum, the other side has to be within her. And after 6 months of marriage, the conscious mind will go out and the unconscious mind will the conscious mind will go in and the unconscious mind will come out, right? I know this from the beginning. Will it trouble me in the least? No. Then there's no problem in any relationship. Absolutely no divorces. Not possible. Right? Because I know from the beginning. Today she's saying, waking up in the morning that, oh, let me make a cup of tea for you, let me make a cup of tea. It's love. The dream is going on. Right? And after 6 months, hey, you make your own tea, I'm feeling sleepy. Right? And I know from the beginning this is going to happen. So I know this is nature. The law of the pendulum. Everything follows the pendulum. Summer becomes winter and winter becomes summer. And the sea has to be stopped by the sand. The sea can't eat up all the land, etc. And the seasons change and everything changes. And that is what we call sansar. Okay? So sansar is the law of the pendulum. And that is controlled by the Vajra. If someone in his life has made an effort to be free of the law of the pendulum, he has made that effort, the pendulum moves from side to side. If he has stopped in the middle, and please understand, when you stop in the middle, the pendulum is the fastest. It's so difficult to hold your consciousness in the middle. Right? It's always easy at the extremes. Right? But then he moves, his life moves from the Vajra Nadi to the Sushumna Nadi. It moves from the Vajra Nadi to the Sushumna Nadi. And then when he climbs the spiral of the pendulum, he climbs right to the source. He moves to which Nadi? Chitrini Nadi. Now death can be in either of these. So when we are there at the moment of death, what has been pulled? The Vajra Nadi has been pulled. The Vajra Nadi has been pulled. Is this clear to everyone? But Buddha did not die in the Vajra Nadi. Buddha did not die in the Vajra Nadi. Now you can see that once the arrow goes out, it cannot in normal circumstances come back. Maybe in some rare circumstances, somebody pushes us back, I don't know. Right? Okay. But in Buddha there is a story that one lady came running and Buddha, he told his disciples that I am going. He turned on the right side and he started dropping into the Sushumna Nadi, dissolving himself. So there was no pulling in his case, right? There was no pulling in his case. And it says one lady came and she says, my whole life I wanted to ask Buddha a question. And Anand, who was Buddha's chief disciple, he said that it's too late. He has already reached this state. He cannot come back. And it is said Buddha heard. He came back. He got up. He answered her question and he again turned on the right side. And it's very important. Morning, turn on the right side and sleep. Maybe we'll all become Buddhas. Okay. Right. So, that is a different kind of death. And in Chitrini we have one recorded example. There may have been other examples, but in human records we have only one example, and that is of Kabir. Right? And Kabir, there was a fight between the Muslims and the Hindus. He had not yet died. He was lying in the house, right? Whether we will bury him or cremate him after his death. And he went into the Chitrini Nadi and he, made bhasma. Bhasma means food, flowers, not real flowers, right? And he burnt his body in the Chitrini Nadi. And when they went in, so one pile of that bhasma, the Muslims took it, became the Kabir Margi. One pile the Hindus took it, became the Kabir Panthi. Right? So, that is the only recorded example we have of somebody dying in the Chitrini Nadi. They created the Parana. No, not Vivekananda.
Meera.
Saiva.
No, not even Meera, we don't know. Because Meera has one of her bhajans, Junuta Thayu Deva, Junuta Thayu. So she's saying, I'm already old now, I'm just waiting for death to come. Right?
I don't know, I heard about the Swami Yoganand.
Who?
Yoganand.
No, Yoganand the physical, he didn't destroy the physical. They all went in Shushumna. This is only one recorded example of where the Parana that destroys everything. He goes into the Para Umkar and destroys everything. Right? Destroys it all. So that is the only case we have historically recorded. There must have been many other cases, but this is historically recorded. I had one friend, and he died when he was 40, and he started an ashram in Gangotri, and he had a small group of disciples. He had reached a very great height, and when he was 40, he just called his disciples and said, I'm going, and he did, oh, and it went. But again, that is Sushumna. That is Sushumna. So, death can be either in the Vajranadi, it can be in Sushumna Nadi, it can be in Chitrika. Now, the Atma, each of each of these stages will have 7 sub-stages. So we just say Swaha. Right? And at the moment of death, we are in Swaha. So the Atma remains over here. And the astral body falls to Bhuva. The astral body falls to Bhuva. The Atma remains over here, the astral body falls to Bhuva. Now, one thing I've forgotten, I have to tell you. We live our life twice. We live our life twice. If you ask any astrologer, right, what is the moment of death? And he'll say moment of birth is the moment of death. What does he mean? What does he mean? That you go out from the same door in which you came in. So we move, say I live up to 70 years. So I move from 0 to 70. At 70 years, at the moment of death, time goes reverse. And in 3 minutes, again I become a young child and I go. The old man does not die, the young child dies. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, because my consciousness is not such that I can be aware in those 3 minutes, I don't realize that I have lived my life once again. And the important milestones of my life, they go back in reverse time. One of the practices which my guru used to make me do is go back through the day. Go back through the day. So every night when I used to go to sleep, I had to go backwards in time. So I'd say half an hour ago I was doing this, 1 hour ago I was doing this, then I was doing this, then I was doing this. I got up in the morning. What was the thought I got up in the morning? I had to make an effort to remember. And it would be going back in reverse time. The old man becomes a young child. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, this was one of the practices which we had to do. I don't know if any of you have heard of Krishnamurti. I don't know if any of you have heard of Krishnamurti. Right? And Krishnamurti, when he was 86, Sid Chalmal wrote a beautiful book, 1000 Moons, Krishnamurti at 86, right? In which one of the chapters is what Krishnamurti does the whole day. And Krishnamurti says that when I go to bed at night, I go through the day once. Was there any moment when I was not conscious? Was there any moment where did something in the day happen in darkness? And I'll put light over there and I go to sleep. So even at that, a person as enlightened as Krishnamurti used to practice this every night when he went to sleep. And this was something which we as students had to practice every day. Right? So,
Can you repeat that?
what?
What we have to practice every day to go back
Yeah. So
properly.
take one subject in the beginning. Take one subject. Say irritation. Take irritation. So go back. Go back. So you will go back, say half an hour. So what were you doing half an hour ago? Go back 1 hour ago. And suddenly you'll remember 1 hour ago, right? Your button was not opening, you got irritated. Right? Small thing, which we forget. So just pause over there, put little light. That irritation happened in darkness. Put a little light, right? Go a little ahead. You were having dinner, then go a little ahead. You're having your tea, and at tea, the tea was cold, you got angry on her. Again put a little light over there, and reach the morning. It will take not more than 2 minutes.
Advantage?
You're going back in time. You're practicing in going back in time. Every day you're practicing for death. Small investment, Small investment. Right? Now, the second thing is we must make a practice of getting up early in the morning and going back to sleep. Going back to sleep. Now, I don't want to talk about dreams today. I'll talk about some other day on dreams. What are the cycles of dreams? How we can work with the dreams and all that. But if you go back to sleep, then you get a half hour, or if you can sleep for half an hour just before getting up again, you get a half hour of one dream after the other, because the morning period is full of dreams. And you can wake up from the dream, you can observe the dream. And the dream is happening in molecular time. The dream is happening in molecular time. This is a very good practice. Very good practice. Even my guru left in 1994. Now it is 23 years. I still do this practice every day. Every day. Even traveling, I try to do it. Of course, at home it's much easier. Right? Okay, so get up in the morning little early. Try to go back to sleep. Try to remember one dream, two dreams, recall the dreams, start working with the dreams. Then you will be able to work in those last 3 minutes before death. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? This is the beautiful story of Guru Hargobind Sahib. He was the sixth Guru of the Sikhs. Sixth Guru of the Sikhs. And it was he who started the city called Amritsar. Right? In those days, Amritsar was just maybe some huts or something, we don't know what it was. Right? And he had a disciple, and that disciple was the Raja of a place called Saket Mandi. Saket Mandi. And the Raja had a rule that for 1 week in the year, he must stay with the Guru. So every year for 1 week, he would come and stay with the Guru. Now, this year the Raja was going to come to visit the Guru, and every night he was getting one dream. And in that dream he was a Chandal, a person of lower caste. A person of lower caste. And he couldn't understand. I wake up in the morning, I am a king, and why am I getting a dream that I am somebody of lower caste? So he said, I'm going to ask the Guru. So he went, and the next day he sent his man early in the morning to the Guru that please get me an appointment to the Guru, and the Guru sent his man back and said no time. Right? Next day again, he sent his man to the Guru. Again the Guru sent a message back, no time. So he was getting very upset about the whole thing. Third day in the morning, early in the morning, the Guru's man came running. And he says the Guru Hargobind Sahib loved to go for shikar, hunting. So he said the Guru is going today for shikar. Do you want to join him? So he said, yes, I'll join him. So they went hunting in the forest. In the forest they were separated. And there is a river, and the Raja is taking his horse near the river and going, and far away there is a hut of a Chandal. And from there they see him and they say, "Arey, he's come back from the dead," and they all come and catch him. And so one says, "My father has come back," other says, "My husband has come back, my grandfather has come back," and make him sit and he won't let you go. Right? And after some time, Guru Hargobind Sahib comes. He sees the situation. When they see the Guru, of course everybody bows down to the Guru. And he says, he's not your husband, he's not your father, he's not your grandfather, he's a Raja. He looks like him, but he's not him. The one you cremated some days ago was your husband. And he takes him back. And then he says that, do you understand your dream now? Do you understand your dream now? So he says, no, I don't understand the dream. So he's saying, you are destined to be born as a Chandal. But just before you died in your past birth, you surrendered to the Guru. And the Guru gave you an opportunity to be born as a king. But what about your karma as a Chandal? That you experienced in a 3-minute dream. You experienced in a 3-minute dream. Can you understand? So, at the moment of death, in 3 minutes, life unwinds. And all the major decisions we have taken in life, we can change. If we are conscious in dream time, in molecular time, not in cellular time. You understand what I'm trying to say? Right? Dream time. If we are conscious, we can change everything in that moment of death. For that you must practice in your sleep. That is why I said, wake up early in the morning, do all your exercises, do your mantra jap, go back to sleep, make an effort to work with your dreams. Right? You will be able to bring consciousness to a different time. At the moment of death, you will be looking and you will know exactly what to do. Right? Okay. Now, a person who is dying, once we have heard this talk, we don't meet by coincidence. Our lines of time have crossed due to something, I don't know why. Right? Or maybe I know why, but okay. But it becomes your duty now to help anyone else who is dying. Anyone else who is dying. So the first thing you want is that the speed should not reduce. So if anybody is crying in the room, then his attachment is over. Here he does not want to leave. You have to get rid of all those people. Second thing, you have to help him that now you leave and you go in a very easy way. The third thing you tell him is, now for 1 hour you are entering into a state where you can see your divine fragment. You can see your Atma. Now for 1 hour after death, we are in the state of Swa. because all the sanskars have come from planetary and the 5 elements, and the 5 elements have taken their sanskar back, the soul is sort of free over here. Soul is sort of free over here. He leaves the Atma over here. The Atma is pure light. Pure light, not physical light. This is reflected light. It is man-created light. That is a light of different quality. It is pure light. Now, supposing I am working to realize my Atma, it will take me years and years of practice to even get a glimpse, the small jhaki. Right? It will take me years and years of practice. But here, it is free of charge, no sadhana. Free of charge. The only thing is he must not close his eyes, not the physical eyes. He must not close his eyes, but it's difficult because Arjuna also told Krishna, you please close it, I can't stand it any longer. I can't stand it any longer. Right? It's like this, that we are driving on a dark night and a truck comes with very powerful headlights, we sort of blink our eyes. You don't want to blink the eyes. So you have to tell that person who is dying, you will be able to see the light. Don't lose this chance. Absorb as much of the light as possible. As much of the light as possible. You have to tell him in his ear. And if he doesn't understand how you feel, then you say you ask the Guru. The Guru is nearby. Help is always there. Only you have to ask for it. Okay. Now this astral body is going to come into who? But it comes in 3 stages. It comes down, it goes back up, it comes down, it goes back up, and then it comes down into who? Right? It comes in 3 stages. The Tibetans call this the period of clear light. This lasts for about 40 minutes to 1 hour. And that period is very important after death. Don't move the body for 1 hour. Keep on whispering in the ear that please see the light. Every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you whisper in the ear, see the light. Right? So even if you're in a hospital, pay something more for the hospital room for 1 hour more. Don't tell the doctor 1 hour more. Right? Now, he will come back. The second time when he goes, he won't see the pure light. It will be like as if a glass is in front of him. And the third time he will come back, there will be no light, but there will be like a twilight. The sun has already set, but the colors are still there. He will see this in 3 stages, and this is the most beautiful part after death. And if we know this, we are not frightened, we are ready to keep our eyes when the headlights are on. And this will last for 1 hour or 40 minutes. Then the soul goes into what is called the molecular universe, from the electronic universe to the molecular universe, and it stays there for nearly 55 days. Nearly 55 days. Can we help somebody who has gone? In these 55 days, it passes through, I'll try to explain. Okay, now we said we live our life twice. At the moment of death, the key unwinds and we come back to where we started. What happens to our essence? What happens to our essence? Supposing I've got angry in my life 1,000 times, right? And all these 1,000 angers then become one drop of perfume, essence, right? And they'll become a part of my astral body, right? That astral body we will call as time body. time body. We all have a time body. Right? Memory is the blood of the time body, but we won't go into that today. Right? Okay. Now, here we live only this life. Now this whole time body in molecular form will come to meet us in 45 to 55 days. Now am I getting clear in this? It is not just this one drop of anger, but I may have accumulated so many drops. All those drops are going to come to meet me. And in those 45 days, I will pass through these different things. And usually we are in a deep sleep, just as a dream. We see everything as in a dream. We don't do anything because we've not practiced in our dreams. If we have practiced in our dreams, we will wake up a little there and we will change so many things. That we will change all our sanskars. Can you understand? This is sanskar. This essence is sanskar. I have not had the time, but I am going to create a book on what to do in those 55 days. Each day what to do. Right? I have not had a time to write it. So, the soul passes through a long 55-day dream. If from today you start practicing every morning, going back to sleep, you will be in this period, you will have some consciousness. You will not be like in normal dreams every night. You don't know what is happening. You wake up in the morning. You will be able to change so many things because your own anger will come to meet you. Your own jealousy will come to meet you. Your own happiness will come to meet you. Your own attachment will come to meet you. You will pass through these 45 to 49 stages. Right? And as you pass day by day, if you are aware, you will change everything. Because in the astral world, in the molecular world, there is no space between thought and action. If today I want to meet her in the cellular world, I will phone her. She will say, I don't have time for 5 days. You come after 5 days. But in my dream, I think of her. She is already there. She is already there. Time and space compress in the dream. Right? So do this practice. I think if I get time, I'll take one lecture on how to work with dreams.
Do that.
Tomorrow.
That's the book.
No
Because
Mahabharata.
when you say,
Yeah,
when
we
you
don't
say
want Mahabharata.
40 minutes
Yes, fine.
day,
Tomorrow
and do
no
this,
Mahabharata.
when we
Yeah,
are
we can
sleeping,
skip
No, no,
that.
Mahabharata,
Maybe continue
Mahabharata.
this. Yeah.
Okay.
No, no, Mahabharata.
Then we need this.
No, Mahabharata.
We'll take Mahabharata next year.
Yeah,
We
Mahabharata.
heard Mahabharata
We
last year.
can skip that.
Okay. Now, I want to, what do we do for somebody who has gone? Right? So, we want to sit every day for that person for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a very long time over there. Because cellular time, 5 minutes is a big time in the molecular world. Don't worry about it. If you can live your whole this thing in life in 3 minutes, then 5 minutes is 2 lifetimes. Okay? So don't worry about it. Sit for 5 minutes every day for that person who has gone. The first thing you do is light a lamp for that person. Second thing, put a piece of food. If you have not cooked any food in your home, you can put a piece of chocolate, doesn't matter. Right? Okay. You have to mentally say this food is for you. In this world, I am allowed to rob. Robbing is allowed. So if she's not looking, I can steal from her thali. It is allowed in this world. But in that world, it is not allowed. You have to say this food is for you. And he will come. He will come. He will not eat the food, but he will smell the food. And in that smelling the food, he'll be satisfied. He'll be satisfied. Right? So every day you sit for 5 minutes, put some food, right? Put something which that person used, a hanky or a vest or something like that. Now, the first thing you will say is that There is nothing to worry. So leave all your attachments, what you have for here. Because we are habitually attached. You know, one beautiful American guru was giving me an example. And he said, okay, I've died. I've died. That's my dead body. And he's an actor, so he does it in beautiful acting. It's my dead body. And he says, oh, what's the time? It's 9 o'clock. I have to go to office. Right? So we are so attached to our organic habits, the habits of this world, we forget. 9 o'clock to go to, how can you go to office? There's no body left. Right? But 9 o'clock I have to go to office. Right? So you have to tell that person that be free of your organic habits. Be free of your organic habits. Second thing, tell him that whatever you are seeing is just a dream. The minute you order it to change, it will change. It is your own mind, your own time body revealing itself to you. Right? Don't get frightened. Don't get hypnotized by what is coming, whatever form it takes. Sometimes anger may take the form of a dog with 3 heads or something, because it is a dream. It is my own anger, but it has taken a form. Right? So you tell that form to go away. Do this, and the last thing you tell that person is that if what I have said has reached you, give me some indication. You may see that the lamp will flicker like this, or you may feel an ant is walking up your spine, or you may feel a sudden burst of air or something of that sort, right? You know it has reached. This signal that it has reached will come for 10 to 15 days, then it will stop coming. But you continue. You continue. Not for him. This very doing it for somebody else will change yourself. This doing it for somebody else will change yourself. Up to 45 days, please do this. Right? Then you have to continue from the 45th to the 55th day. In that day, you now tell this person who has gone that now the time has come to take a new birth. And you will see scenes of couples having sex. Not as we see a film, but in the old days we used to have what is called negatives. Nowadays we don't have photographs with negatives, but in the old days we used to have photographs with negatives. So you will see shadowy scenes of couples having sex, and you will be invited to take birth somewhere. Right? So tell that person, now don't just take birth mechanically. Don't take birth mechanically. Right? You tell him, pause. The pause button is over there. Right? Only we forget to use it. So you can pause. The minute you pause, you will know more about the people in the picture. Right? Tell him that the guru is standing next to you, but the rule is that he will not help you unless you ask for his help. Ask for his help. Tell him that wherever you see animal kind of sex, immediately say no. Close that picture. Immediately say no. Don't get attracted just to wealth. Go where there is inner growth and wisdom. Right? And you have to add that to what you are saying in the last 10 days. After 55 days, you can stop everything. It's all over. Right? Don't keep too many photos of that person. One is enough. He has gone on his journey. If you can do this, it is more powerful than any of the pujas we do. Right? Because you are consciously trying to help that person. Now, when he decides to take birth, the astral starts roaming around the mother. In the mother's womb, a new astral is created. And this creation finishes at the 7th month. That is why at the 7th month we have a special puja, because the new sanskars are going to be transferred. Right? all the racial characteristics come into the womb at that time. All of the race, jati na sanskar je aapke. Right? The old astral transfers all the essence to the new astral. And then the old astral disintegrates. If the old astral, due to some deep desire, refuses to disintegrate, the child will be stillborn. The new astral will have to die in its place. Then there is some different cycle. I don't want to go into that. Right? And so, at the 7th month is very, very important, that puja which we do in the 7th month. Right? Then, at the 9th month, the baby is born. At the first cry, the Atma, which was sitting right in Swahalok, it comes in between Mooladhar and Swadhisthana. It lights the match, and the first electromagnetic field rises up the backbone. That is the spark of life. That is the spark of the divine. It is the electromagnetic field of the divine which gives life to the body, and the child cries. Right? So this in short is just some summary of how we can understand death. My time is over. I will take a little longer time.
For that 5 minutes of practice, the mind has to be ready to,
Yeah.
your mind has to be calmed down, or maybe meditation before that.
Yeah. Calm down the mind. Yes. You can't do it with a monkey chattering all the time. Right? It's not possible. Right? Yeah.
You gave the reference of the 6th Guru about the dream interpretation, how this is. But I have read, Guru Vani also says that for your salvation, it is only you who has to do in this life. When you die and you expect somebody else does the puja for you, for your salvation, it is not possible. All Gurus have explained very clearly. In this life, you change your method, you change your lifestyle as per the instructions of the Guru. Otherwise, you expect somebody else will do puja, somebody else will do all the fasting. It is not possible. That's what I have read.
Don't believe everything you read.
Yeah,
Try to read between the lines. If we believe everything we read, we will go crazy. Right? There must be a knack of reading what is unsaid in the lines. You must be able to grasp the essence of what is being said, not the literal meaning of what is being said. No guru ever speaks literally. So if he has said something literally, be very sure that is not the truth.
No, they have written in the Guru Vani.
That is what I am trying to tell you. That is what I am trying to go beyond the written word. If you start understanding Jesus literally, you will go crazy. He turned water into wine. Right? But if you understand deeper, then we have a lower psychic state which is water, which we can transform into a higher psychic state which is wine. That is your own effort.
No, but I agree. But this is definitely questionable that somebody else is going to help out.
Right. So I am not giving you any pujas. I am giving you a technique in which you can tell that person or how he can help himself. That what you are seeing is from your own mind. Right? Supposing you are in a dream. Right? But you are in a half dream state. Right? And in that dream you are having a frightening dream. And from outside I whisper, this is your own mind. And it reaches you in your dream. Will it change or not change? It will change. It has to change. The Guru has a power of coming into your dream. Do you know that? Right? My Guru came in my dreams many times. And there have been times when I have been seeing 7 dreams simultaneously. Simultaneously, one in the other, one in the other, and I've been aware of all of them. So, don't take everything literally. Yeah. When you rise in consciousness, words which are written in the religious books, their meaning and everything changes. It is because of our level of consciousness we understand them in a certain way. Be open. Be open. Don't be closed. Otherwise, we'll never grow if we are closed. Yeah.
Is the time of the death is destined as the when you are born, or does it change? Can you change the time of your death?
I took that yesterday.
Oh.
I'll take it again tomorrow. I'll take it again tomorrow.
And
Yeah.
also, I wanted to know about the accident death. Like, so what happens?
Yeah,
in
we'll take
death?
it tomorrow. Take it tomorrow. I think I've overdone my time. Yeah.
Just like what you said, what you read might not be true. What about what you hear might not be true. All senses have no meaning, basically.
No, you don't say true. What you hear is relative. I am telling you something.
Right,
Now go beyond what I say into.
Right.
Do manthan for yourself.
Yeah, because it's individual
Right.
effort.
Try to see whether there's some truth in what I am saying. Don't just take it at face value.
Okay.
Right? Try to work on yourself. Use what I'm saying for your own growth.
Because everybody's saying different thing about this. When you die, it's
Right.
right at the time.
So I'm just giving it to you. I'm just giving it to you. It's up to you. Like I said, whatever I'm saying is through my own practices. Right? Yeah.
સાંભળ્યું છે કે મેડિટેશન કે કોઈ પણ સારા સ્પિરિચ્યુઅલ પ્રોગ્રેસથી બ્રહ્મ ગ્રંથિ, વિષ્ણુ ગ્રંથિ ને રુદ્ર ગ્રંથિ જે નોટ્સ કહેવાય છે એ જો ખુલે જસ્ટ ખબર નથી આના વિશે કંઈ પણ તો વધારે સારી સ્પિરિચ્યુઅલ પ્રોગ્રેસ ગણાય અને મોત સારું થાય. 3 નોટ્સ કે એની કોઈ ખબર નથી પણ જસ્ટ
See, nothing will happen in 1 second. What is the meaning of the word Brahma? Expanding consciousness. What is the meaning of the word Rudra? To be free of crying. Radvamati mukti. Right? Try to go into the depth of what is being said. Don't take these things literally. They have no meaning at all. And they have a deeper meaning. Right? So, Rudra Granthi, you will never be free unless you are free of negative emotion. Can you understand what it is? Freedom. Now, if you start working today, after 20 years, you will be free of negative emotion. Can you understand what I'm trying to say?
Thank you.
So, when you're talking of Rudra Granthi, when you're talking of Brahma Granthi, is each moment is expansion of consciousness. Now, somebody is insulting me. Can you expand your consciousness and make him a part of yourself? Can you get it?
Yeah.
Now there is Brahma Granthi. Which was the third one you said? Vishnu Granthi. Vishnu means that which pierces. Je Vindhe. In a Vishnu. Vindhe Vishnu. What to call it in English? Pierces. Right? So, each of this you have to go into the deeper. It's not something you sit in yoga and you pull this in, this Granthi has gone and you pull this in, this and then you go and get angry on anyone. It doesn't work that way. Right.
Subtle body. Subtle body disintegrates after transferring the
Sanskar. Right.
Guru vina gnan na male, and Guru supposed to be a blood and flesh, or it can be a computer, it can be a book, or it can be a shastra.
It can be a curtain also.
Those who can give the knowledge.
Anything which ignites understanding.
So Guru vina gnan na male. What is meant by that? Guru vina gnan na male. Guru na hoy to gnan na male. So you should have.
First of all, Guru is not a person. Is not a person. Second thing, everybody has an inner Guru. There is a divine center within us. And the divine center is always ready. It is speaking every moment. It is speaking every moment. Only we are not listening. We are not listening. The outer Guru has only one duty, to teach you how to listen to the inner Guru. Right? If he does anything else, then something is wrong. Can you understand? If he is doing anything else, something is wrong. He has only one duty, to teach you, because the inner Guru is speaking all the time. Right? The inner Guru is Vyas. Right? But to understand Vyas, we have to become Ganpati. Can you understand?
But it's not necessary everywhere. Everybody says my Guru is my Guru, and you don't feel comfortable with all this Guru.
With what? Don't go anywhere where you don't feel comfortable. Huh?
So it can be comfortable book, shastra,
Yeah.
or anything.
More than enough. More, right? And you can just sit near the river and listen to the water. That is the biggest good. It'll calm the mind, it'll calm the monkey, it'll open the inner faculties, everything. Yes, sir.
Is there an instances of become like Jeev becomes great Atma or Guru? How long it stays?
That is the stillbirth. Let's keep it for some other time. It is there. There is something like that. Huh? But 99% of the cases we see are hysteria. There is 1% which is true. 1%. Right?
Most of the ritual we perform in Hindu religion, basically, especially in Gujarati, Barmu, Termu, and after that, Atma, you can communicate with your Atma just like what you're talking. Like I talk to my father. Whatever the transformation, take care of it. And that,
But start from the first day. Don't wait till 12th.
yeah, that was third day actually.
5 minutes every day. 5 minutes every day. Right?
I think Imran's question was that you've now taught everybody that do this for 55 days. But let's say somebody passes away, like say I pass away. Now I understand this, but I don't have anybody to remind me of the 55 days. Then what?
No, I don't understand.
So you said that somebody should do rituals for you for 55 days, put a hanky, put a thing. But what if somebody doesn't know to do that for me?
Nobody there.
There's nobody there.
આપણે ત્યાં હવે ખાલી 13 દિવસનું જ રહ્યું 55 દિવસનું તો એમણે કહ્યું ત્યારે આપણને ખબર પડી આપણે 13 દિવસ સુધી સવા મહિનો અસર રાખતા હતા કે સવા મહિના સુધી એની પાછળ દીવો થાય કંઈક ભજન થાય એટલે એ આત્માને શાંતિ મળે અને એને ભાવતું ખાવાનું બને તે પેલા ગાય કૂતરાને કાગડાને સવા મહિના સુધી પહેલા નાખતા હતા અસલના જમાનામાં ન્યૂ ટાઈમમાં તો હવે તો એ પણ બંધ થઈ ગયું 11મું 12મું 13મું અને ખાલી ગાયત્રી અપનાવી એટલે આપણે ખબર જ નહોતી આ તો આપણે રાજનભાઈએ કીધું ત્યારે ખબર પડી કે 55 દિવસ સુધી કરવાનું અત્યારે તો ખાલી 13 દિવસ સુધી જ કરીએ છીએ only 13 days.
But do this. Do this for someone. It is not that someone, that very doing it will change you as a person. Will change you as a person.
This question is, you become the guide for somebody else. But when you pass away, who's going to be your guide?
Leave that to nature. There is a higher intelligence. Why are you worried about that? Why are you worried about that?
Rajan, can you continue with your thought that you were saying about your mother?
I thought you'd forgotten, so let's read. Then my mother is 82 years old. She lives in an ashram and she's been practicing for years, very high state, right? But she's told me that, when I die, I want you next to me. Because she has some trust that this guy knows something, whether I know or not, I don't know. But she says that I want you. And but I travel all over. So he'll say, what about the worry of whether when she goes, am I going to be there or? I leave it to a higher intelligence. Leave it. Nothing to worry about. If I'm there, I'm there. Right? Once she was in a really bad state and she was going, I could see her. I said, and I just made a cup of tea and I can't drink cold tea. So I said, hang on, hang on. Just let me finish my tea and come, then you go. Right? That is death. That is death. Death is beauty. Don't make a big thing about it. But she understood. She said, okay, you go, have your tea, come back. Of course, she came back. Right. Okay.
But you already know that anyway.
Huh?
You already know that.
Gets multiplied. Your question about the eclipse. The sanskar gets multiplied. So, supposing one batsman gets out, right? The idiot, he should have put his bat this way, right? And so So I'm getting angry personally, but I'm not getting angry personally. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Millions of people who are watching that because of TV, millions of people who are getting watching that cricket match are getting angry at the same time. So at that you have to be careful, because now you're part of a crowd. You've come under mass effect. So just now I'm giving myself the sanskar of anger 1. I get angry on her, right? I'm living anger 1. But in the match I'm getting angry, I'm living anger 1 into 1 million. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because now I'm not one, I'm the crowd. And that whole anger is intensifying, which is coming on me. So the best way to be free of the crowd mentality is to watch the cricket match and still be free of it. Whichever match you're watching, doesn't have to be the cricket match, whichever match you're watching, still be free of it. So if you can be free in the match, then you're free of the ground.
Yeah.
You understand? Because now you're not part of the crowd, and the eclipse can only hit the crowd, but you're no longer a part of the crowd.
As long as you don't have attachment. Period.
Yeah.
The fake life also has a
What
match.
about the food? They're talking about that if you take warm food, and basically some of the negative effect on the chakra, and that might screw up your...
See, these days are different, sir. If you go that way, you'll have to throw away all the refrigerators in the world. Right? So don't even think about it. My wife used to go out for 10-15 days. She would make 10 days food in the refrigerator. Every day I would take out a little, heat it in the microwave and eat it.
What is this?
That science is now different. It's a different science.
So we have a mass effect on negativity. How about the group of people doing bhajan and enjoying all this?
They are making an
They
effort.
multiply.
What I'm trying to say is, you watch a match as meditation.
Okay.
Watch a match as if you are free from the match, you are free from the crowd.
And then it's no fun.